My friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Ivan. I have been an influencer on this platform for 5 years. If you look around my channel, everywhere you look, you see dozens of likes, and hundreds of views. Just amazing. Very few people can match this. And so in this instance, when I look around and I see grifting in this platform, when I see people taking shady money and just running with it, I want to ask a simple question: why not me? Why doesn't anybody offer me any grift? Because certainly I'm here to sell out at any opportunity whatsoever. And that's why grifting really gets to me, because it's not something that I can ever achieve on my own. I want to grift, but I can't. And so as a result of it, all I have to do is launch attacks on those who have grifted way past me, who really live in a universe of grift that I myself would wish to inhabit. So in a few moments, we're going to look at the case of Tim Pool. Now, he made, a hell of a grift. He has scored hundreds of thousands of dollars from Russia, and how this changed him as a human being, and how he's a victim now, because it turned out that the money he thought was coming from a shady Russian billionaire turned out to be money coming from the Russian Federation, from the government, and how salty he is, and how betrayed he is, and how much pain this has caused him. We're going to take a look at all of this in a few moments. But before that, there's a piece of news that has touched me very deeply, that has offended me, that has disgusted me, and that I feel extremely passionate about. And here, of course, I'm talking about the horrible and vile attacks on the immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. This hatred really has to stop. We need to put an end to it. We have to ask ourselves a simple question: do we want new immigrants to rely on the government for food, to stand in the welfare office to get some money from the government for food? Or do we want these immigrants, to embrace the outdoors, to think about outside the box as far as where to get food, and to really take initiative on their own to feed themselves? Because this is the American pioneering spirit, is to see something and take it that's outdoors and eat it. That's the essence to me of being an American. You see something like a squirrel or a piece of roadkill or something like that, and you just grab it, and you can fry that baby up. This is what America is all about. And so all these attacks are just pushing people into government dependence. No, go out to the lake. See if you find a goose there, a Canadian goose, or something like that. I mean, a lot of the geese don't respect human beings as apex predators anymore. And, it's almost like they own the land. It's almost like they own the park. It's almost like they're challenging you. Have you ever seen a Canadian geese hissing? That's what I have to deal with when I ride my bike. There's a flock of Canadian geese. They fear me not at all. And they move away from me in a very slow fashion, and they give me the stink eye, they give me the shitty looks, and they hiss at me, and it's almost like a traumatic event that shouldn't happen. We are the apex predator, and I'm sure that the geese in Springfield, Ohio, they know their place. I'm sure they're out of sight, out of mind. They have things to worry about, like their own survival, as opposed to just indulging in this notion that somehow they're better than us, or somehow they're stronger than us. They're weaker than us, and they're stupid birds. And I find that somebody needs to put them in their place and eat them, frankly. I believe in this, and I believe in just the initiative and the energy that it takes, to go to a park with a hunger for geese. So right, Ivan, you've convinced us with the geese, but what about the cats? Well, dude, what about them? What about the cats? The cats are just collateral damage as we're moving toward a bigger goal. And the bigger goal is a squirrel in every yard, okay? A squirrel in every yard. Every hunter, any outdoorsman knows that where there are cats, there are few, if any, squirrels, okay? Like, this is the kind of hunter wisdom that is being passed out from one generation to another. Where there are cats, there are few, if any, squirrels. A squirrel running around in the yard, it's almost like a piece of bacon that kind of jumped into your plate. everybody eats squirrels in Ohio. It's completely normal, you know. And so if we want to have more squirrel, then we need to have fewer cats. And so the cats, again, are just collateral damage toward a greater goal, toward a greater shifting in the ecosystem of Springfield, Ohio. Do you or do you not want ample squirrel harvest in Springfield, Ohio? Do you or do you not want it? Well, then the cats have to sort of get it too a little bit, We have to, because again, like a squirrel in every yard, and that's almost like a Trump slogan or something. It should be. It's an American slogan. It's like I said, like a squirrel is like running like a little piece of meat, like a little piece of bacon that jumped into your plate when they run around. But a lot of these cats, they don't even eat the squirrels they catch. So that's that. I mean, I'm not saying that I agree with everything that goes on, but you have to understand that the squirrels are the goal. The squirrels are the goal here. America's famous for people taking initiative. When somebody says no, we say yes. When somebody says don't eat that, I said I will eat it. This roadkill is not as bad as you think. You go outside there, you go outside your house into the outdoors, and you just treat it like a big buffet. Finders keepers. A goose here, a piece of roadkill there, a squirrel here, a gerbil, whatever it is, whatever it takes to really seize the moment and consume it. And so we're not going to let J.D. Vance tell us how to live our life. We're not going to let him define what we can and cannot eat. And so, my friends, don't just stand there in Chipotle and hope that they're going to give you enough meat. Hope that they're not going to be stingy with the meat at Chipotle. No, you go outside, and you just take a goose. You just go outside and you say, I'm going to eat that goose. Why not? Why should this not happen? So, my friends, that's basically my thoughts on this. I feel that the American pioneering spirit is under attack. Finders keepers. Whatever you get out there, whatever protein you're gonna get out there, dude, you're entitled to it. You're entitled to it, and don't let anybody stop you from eating that. That squirrel. Just eat it, all right, dude. All right, my friends. Well, with that out of the way, let's talk about Tim Pool. Tim Pool was paid around $100,000 per video to post on a channel for a company that's called Tenant Media. Tim Pool was under the belief that he was working for a pro-Russian billionaire, Edward Grigorian. It turned out that the federal government has discovered that Grigorian doesn't exist, in that the money was being funneled from the Russian government to have, to promote pro-Russian voices and opinions. Tim Pool was not alone in this and receiving this kind of money. There was also Dave Rubin, Lauren Southern, Benny Johnson. All of them thought that the grift was taking money from a Russian oligarch, and it turned out that the real grift was taking money from the Russian government. So now they're very salty, and they're convinced that they're victims themselves out of this. And the good thing about this is that there is no evidence whatsoever that Russian money influenced Tim Pool in any way whatsoever when it comes to his channel. There's just zero evidence of any pro-Russian bias whatsoever if you look at his videos.
Russia is not going to tolerate its city being evacuated. How long until Russia says 100 kilotons, we'll keep it small, end Kiev? That ends the war overnight. I don't know that we'll see that we see that right away. I think what we see first is likely going to be low-yield nuclear artillery flattening the eastern region of Ukraine, just wiping out some key areas. If Russia uses any kind of actual higher-yield nuclear weapon, then it's World War III and they know it. But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong, I know. You've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support.
Hell yeah.
And we should apologize to Russia.
Well, that was quite something. Very, very spicy. A very spicy take from Tim Pool. However, when the grift was exposed, and when it turned out that he was accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars in Russian money, he went on Ben Shapiro to explain himself. And strangely enough, you know, his position on Ukraine almost kind of metamorphosed into something else. Was very different from the passionate cry of the soul that we heard there condemning Ukraine. Like when the grift was exposed, it's almost like Tim Pool became a different person on Ukraine and Russia. So let's take a look at that.
You and I disagree, I think, on some of the elements around the Ukraine war, but the idea that's been put forth by the media is that somehow you were being paid directly by Vladimir Putin in order to express those views, and that therefore anybody who disagrees with sort of the Democratic take or even the sort of moderate Republican take on this must be paid by Russia. That, of course, is an absurdity, and I think it is wrapped into a broader narrative that seems to be ramping up just in time for the election, which is that Russia's going to interfere in the election on behalf of Donald Trump, and that everybody on the right is in some form or fashion working for the Russians, which is why they're for Donald Trump in the first place.
Yeah, here we go again. I mean, my views probably align more with the Libertarian Party. That's it. Russia sucks. I'm not a fan of Russia. I think Vladimir Putin is a dictator who's used unethical and dictatorial means to maintain power for decades. And I've long said that. My principal point is, you know, my opposition to the war is that we are spending hundreds of billions of dollars at a time when we're dealing with infrastructure problems, we're dealing with border problems. And now with the clip they're circulating right now is my exasperation and outrage to hear that with U.S. resources, not weapons, but with training and things of this matter, Ukraine's invaded Russian territory, pushing us to the brink of large-scale international conflict, which terrifies me. And so that pisses me off. That being said, Russia should never have invaded Ukraine. Russia was wrong to do it. They lost the soft power battle, and they're resorting desperate tactics to do it. And then we find ourselves entrenched in some conflict because of Ukraine. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy.
One of the most important things that Tim Pool wanted to convey to Ben Shapiro is this to show what a big YouTube player Tim Pool is, that this money means nothing to him. This is just normal to get $100,000 per video. This is just the life that he leads. And so this money really hasn't changed him. He can't be grifted because of the amount of money he makes anyway. Like, this money means nothing to him. This is something that he reiterated again and again in his conversation with Ben Shapiro. This is like pocket change in Tim Pool's YouTube universe. This like means nothing to him.
In the podcast space, we just heard that I think Travis Kelce is getting a $100 million contract. So these numbers that's where they're at. I think people don't realize how big the podcasting space is and the revenue that you generate from sponsorships and memberships. So it seemed kind of, I don't know, mundane to a certain extent. A lot of people think these numbers are huge. But yeah, so I don't know. Ask me again. I'm losing my train of thought. The crazy thing is, this was so ancillary to anything we do. We only ever took money from an American corporation. The amount of money that we were offered for the show was around market value for offers we had already received. And so it was just like, cool, I know Lauren, sure, you know, whatever. And then you got Benny and Dave and Matt Christensen and Taylor Hansen, who I know them all. And I'm like, yeah, this seems fine, whatever. And the crazy thing is, you know, assuming all this stuff is true, I'm like, man, this sucks. We didn't need the deal. The deal didn't do anything for us. It was just, sure, I guess.
Tim Pool has a successful mid-sized YouTube channel, and that's a sort of an achievement. You know, you hire some people there, you have a little company. However, in Tim Pool's mind, he's like Mr. Beast, or he's some sort of a YouTube magnate. You don't make $100,000 per video. You don't. So stop lying. Why not say it's like, hey, I like money. People offered me money to do next to nothing to promote some pro-Russian ideas, and I took it. Now, of course, he'll never say that. Instead, we're supposed to treat him as some sort of an Elon Musk of YouTube space, like this entrepreneur to whom like $100,000 for video is nothing. Bullshit, dude. Bullshit. I'm not buying it, man. I'm gonna go out and hunt for a squirrel now. I'm so tired of listening to this. I'm gonna catch a squirrel. I'm so angry. I'm so angry with this. I'm sharpening my stick to attack squirrels with. Because what else can I do listening to this shit?
The ultimate smear is the revenue that we were paid through the licensing deal was inconsequential to my lifestyle, to the bottom line of the company, and we've actually never done anything with it. I would say, the overwhelming majority of the money is just not gone anywhere. And then, we have people tweeting at me like, give the money back or whatever it is. Like, dude, let me put it this way. We're talking to our legal team. I can say that I just announced I've been contacted by the FBI as a victim of a potential victim in a crime. They have stated that I may have information relevant to their ongoing investigation and requested a voluntary interview. So, engaging with counsel, we are going to provide assistance in whatever way we can, and that's about it. I mean, it's they say it's like an arm's length deal. That's what it's always referred to. And I'm like, man, I don't even know what that means. I know that we had a show that already existed that talks about video games, dating, culture, some political issues. We had an Israel-Palestine debate, and we licensed it for publication, non-exclusive. That's the crazy thing. It's like it was not even an exclusive show. It's a non-exclusive. We published it other places. We own the rights for all of it. And so now we get entrenched in whatever this is. And I'm just like, nah, I don't have anything to do with this. I don't know what it is Lauren Chen was doing. I'm quite perturbed by the allegations. I don't know what'll turn out to be true, but I'm pissed.
So Tim Pool went on Twitter to defend himself, and this is what he wrote: Putin is a scumbag. Russia sucks donkey balls. And to the journalists who wish to jump the gun, create their own narrative, or lie about what is currently going on, you can eat my Irish ass. With your newfound disdain for Russia, and the fact that this money means nothing to you, nothing. It's practically pennies in a pocket of a billionaire. With your fantastic YouTube success, you YouTube magnate, dude, why don't you take that money, which you don't have to give back as far as I understand, and give it to Ukraine? Why not? Again, it's next to nothing. It means nothing to you, this money. You earn as much by, making your own videos. You make $100,000 per video, I guess, So what's the big deal with giving it to Ukraine? You can stand for something, because the way it looks to me is that you're overcompensating a bit with all this Russia sucks donkey balls. It's like, do people who actually watch Tim Pool for some reason think, hey, isn't this the same guy who literally a couple of weeks ago, was calling Ukraine the number one enemy, and that America should divest from supporting Ukraine and apologize to Russia, and then now he's telling Russia that Russia should suck donkey balls. It's like, talk about biting the hand that feeds you, or in this case, biting the hand that grifts you. So anyway, so that's the grift, my friends. I wish I had a grift. I'm not as successful as Tim Pool to be bought. If anybody's interested, in giving me maybe $1,000 for video, I will promote your message, whatever it is. However, my friends, since I cannot be bought and nobody wants to buy me, I would offer that you support this channel by giving the thumbs up, leaving a comment potentially, and if you're loaded with money like Tim Pool, you can also join my sad Patreon, the saddest Patreon in the world. It's amazing that there are even people on there, frankly. But anyway, my friends, I hope you have a happy time. I really in life, have a happy life and a good life. And it's unfortunate that people get dehumanized like the Haitians in Ohio. So let's not dehumanize anybody. So that's it, my friends. Thank you for watching. Be well.